Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we have a legend showcase for the new dual legend Fujitora and Kizaru. We are going to go against two different raids and two different arenas, the units of which are all either shooter or slasher to fit the theme of Fujitora and Kizaru. I didn't try to focus on the crit part of the unit simply because it would be way too much of a hassle to max everyone's limit break abilities out and search shooter or slasher units that have this ability, and even if I did all that, the damage addition is really not that much. Do I think the unit is completely trash? No, their chain growth boosting is still very good and they have a good captain ability, although in my opinion, without the crit part, they are really just an underwhelming legend. It shouldn't be a unit that you go after in Sugofests, but they do have some kind of potential for the future in case more legends or units are released with more crit focused abilities. It's cool to see shooters getting more love, but in my opinion they are still not a very good class. So in this video I did use some combos I would have never used for the pieces of content I cleared otherwise. Enough talking though, let's clear some content. First up, we are going to go against Raid Stampede Sabo. All of our supports will be stat boosters, and we are going to use double Fujitora Kizaru as captains. For our dual units, we actually want to enter on both our captains on Kizaru. We don't really need to max out the super swap, and we also want to use the super evolution of V2 Big Mom. We want to charge up here super swap to be ready to use in the final stage during the first 3 stages, so make certain you swap here 6 times. In stage number 3, we want to activate Usopp, who needs to be ready after our stalling in the first 2 stages, so he completely removes despair and he provides some matching slots and also a conditional attack boost. You can swap your friend captain if you want better slots and then super easily attack the enemies and take everyone out in one turn. Entering stage 4, we will face 6 more enemies and this time we will be paralyzed instead of despaired, hence why we brought along Leonardo and Ganryu to remove it. But first we want to swap our own captain to Fujitora and then activate a special, which will actually take out majority of the enemies. Then we want to still activate the paralysis remover, and finally we also want to swap our friend captain to Kizaru and then attack, taking everyone that is remaining out. The reason we want to swap our friend captain is so we can swap back to the Sai side in the final stage versus Sabo, because he significantly reduced the damage coming from int units. Throughout the whole quest we have a special limiter that is the tricky part of this raid, I guess, or was back in the day. We can only activate 2 specials. First up, we want to activate someone to give us our specials back since Sabo rewinded them, and that is the new rare recruit of Denjiro, who came out with Gear 5 Luffy. So we regain our specials now, and for our second special we want to swap our friend captain back to Fujitora and activate him. We get the drop resistances because of the swap, and we also get the chain growth boost, while finally we want to super swap Big Mom for an attack boost and an ore boost on everyone. Then we attack with more than enough damage to take out Sabo. The second raid we are going to go against is versus Soul King Brook, and this raid is a bit tricky in the first 3 stages. Immediately as we enter, we are getting paralyzed, so I am using rare recruit strength Sanji support on our Sai Zoro to remove it, and then we want to stall for our specials, but to also gather the super swap for Kinemon Denjiro and our friend captain Fujitora and Kizaru. We want to enter with both of our captains on Kizaru and Denjiro from Kinemon Denjiro. On top of the paralysis removing support, we are also going to use Dex Rare Recruit Kanjuro on Kinemon Denjiro for despair removal alongside sockets in stage 2, and then we are going to use Legend V1 Nekomamushi on our 6+ Christmas Chopper for bind removal in stage number 3. Once again alongside sockets, so you need maximum despair and bind sockets for this team. Something to also have in mind is that we are going to use the super swap of Kinemon Denjiro in stage 4, while the super swap of our friend captain in the final stage versus Brook himself. And also, throughout the first 3 stages, you need to immediately take out the int unit because if left alive it will provide more debuffs, something of course we want to avoid. In stage 2, Sockets and Kanjuro remove Despair completely. We do one more swap to be ready for the super swaps later on in the quest, and if we want we can do more stalling for our specials, but in this case I will just take everyone out immediately since I stalled enough in the first stage. In stage number 3, all of our crewmates will be binded, but because of Sockets and V1 Nekomamushi support, bind will be completely removed. Now once again we want to take everyone out, and something you need to be very careful of before entering stage 4, both of your captains need to not be Sai, so we need to be on Kizaru to not get extra debuffs. Time to face Pedro now, and after his preemptive, Despair will be reduced because of Sockets. We will also be paralyzed and he will apply chain coefficient reduction. We want to activate Zoro first to deal with both paralysis and despair, but also get an attack boost for our slasher units, so everyone except Chopper. Then we want to super swap to Kinemon for the full board of matching slots, and we want to swap to our own Fujitora captain and then activate him to increase a bit of damage. Then we attack and easily take care of Pedro. Entering the final stage now, the chain coefficient reduction will stick with us, and it will hinder the chain growth boost that Kizaru and Fujitora provide, but it's not really an issue. We have more than enough damage, and now is not even present, meaning that we can damage Brook through our specials and he cannot stop it. Very important to have Christmas Chopper in the middle row so he can evade bind, he will resist special bind, and then when activated he will remove despair, bind and free everyone from special bind. We are going to activate Kinemon after that for an orb boost, a boost in base attack, and to remove Brook's defense up. Then we are going to super swap our friend captain to Fujitora to have color advantage and drop resistances, and then we will activate his special for more damage. Finally Pedro for the full board of guaranteed matching slots, and now we can just attack with our captains and easily defeat Brook. Next up, we are going to take on Arena Kamazo, the first arena ever released. Kamazo is a slasher unit, so he could work with Fujitora and Kizaru. We are going to use 3 dual units in this team, our own captain, the friend captain of Ace Yamato, and Kinemon Denjiro as a crewmate. We want to enter the quest on Yamato, Fujitora, and Denjiro, and as far as swaps go, we want to charge the super swap meter of our captain and Kinemon Denjiro in stages 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, because of the burn they provide, we cannot actually use the super swap of Ace Yamato because it will ruin our stalling, but it's fine, we don't need it, we have more than enough damage for the final stage. Specifically for the swaps, I would say we should swap Kinemon Denjiro 5 times in stage 1, while we swap Kizaru Fujitora 4 times. At first I was not certain about this team's damage output, so I actually used an orb boosting support, Halloween Legend Low at maximum support level on Kizaru and Fujitora, but the damage was more than enough, so I'm not certain if he is necessary, and something that is definitely necessary is hunger removal. You need to at least remove 3 turns, because Kamazo will apply it after his first defeat, and this team can super easily do it. You just need to have Ace Yamato, V2 Hiyori and Kinemon Denjiro all limit broken, because they all have the hunger limit break ability and they can remove it for at least 1 turn each. In stage 2 now, we want to proceed as soon as possible without also wasting all of our Wano slots that V2 Hiyori provided with her Sailor ability, so might as well swap Ace and Yamato, tap one of our units and then let the burn do the job for us. Entering stage number 3, we are going to face off versus Otoko and 3 goons. First thing we want to do after the preemptive is swap all of our dual units. Ace Yamato to get chain boundaries, then Fujitora and Kizaru to of course drop resistances, and finally Kinemon Denjiro for a guaranteed matching slot and to also have their super swap ready for next stage. For specials, we are going to activate Halloween Treasure Map Nami to deal with all of the goons, and then get a color affinity boost. After that we want to break the barrier and of course easily take care of Otoko alongside it. Because we hit enough perfects and thanks to the barrier, needing 4 perfects to break, we can carry over Nami's color affinity boost in stage 4 and it will also increase from 1.75 times to everyone to 2 times to everyone, which is extremely helpful for damage. What we want to do in stage 4, after the preemptive, is first super swap Denjiro to Kinemon to drop the enemy's resistances for slasher attacks and then activate Kinemon. He will completely remove both the damage reduction and the defense up the enemy supplied and also provide us with an ore boost and a base attack boost for our slasher characters. Then we want to activate V2 Hiyori to get a full board of locked Wano slots and also remove the despair. Finally, we want to swap both of our captains for chain boundaries and resistance drops, and finally before attacking we also want to activate 6+ pudding so we can store the 2 times color affinity boost Nami provided for the final stage. Now we are ready to attack and super easily clear stage 4. Entering the boss stage, normally a color affinity boost is interruptible, but with Pudding it isn't, because her special does not specifically write that she provides a color affinity boost, she just applies a buff that is stored in a previous turn. We do just that here, we activate Pudding to get the color affinity boost back and also gain our specials back. After here, we want to super swap our captain to Kizaru and also activate his special. Now we have dropped resistances, we get the chain growth boosting and of course low activates providing us with an ore boost on our int units. Then we swap our friend captain for chain boundaries and activate their special to get an attack boost for everyone. Something that I forgot to mention, Ace Yamato as a friend captain completely removes bind and special bind whenever we see it, so in the final stage 2, and now we are ready to attack based on color advantage to super easily take out Kamazo for the first time. Of course he revives. He actually gains a damage nullification shield as well, so we need to get attacked once. Bind once again is completely removed because of Ace Yamato. We tap one of our units and then we let Kamazo attack us. We haven't really lost HP, so of course it is very easy for our team to survive the hit. After that, Kamazo will apply the hunger, which of course will be completely removed because of our limit break abilities, and now we are ready to completely take him out for good by just attacking with an int unit. For the final quest of this video, we are going to go against Arena Mihawk. This time we are using versus Shanks as a friend captain and we want to enter with our dual unit Kizaru Fujitora on Kizaru. We aim to use the versus ability of Shanks and also the super swap of our own captain in the final stage, so we should prepare in the previous stages. In stage 1, alongside our stalling, we want to do 4 swaps of our captain and we want to at least obtain 1 int or size slot for versus Shanks' ability, which in general is very easy to obtain in this quest, especially if we have Colosseum Komurasaki in the middle left spot, so she can provide the adjacent Sai units with matching slots. That will be extremely useful in stage number 3, but because Komurasaki has double special activation and we don't need her special twice, you can also stall enough to get a guaranteed or multiple guaranteed Sai slots to use for Shanks' versus ability before entering stage 3. Other than stage 3 though, we can also get 6 guaranteed slots for the ability in stage number 4 versus Doflamingo. Now that we are done with our stalling, essentially we want to clear stage 2 as soon as possible. If you want to stall more, feel free to do so. And now we are ready to face off against Moria. He will gain 2 turns of threshold and 2 turns of damage reduction, so we activate Komurasaki once and she completely removes his buffs. We get adjacent slots that are matching and then we want to swap Kizaru to Fujitora. We are ready to attack now based on slots, since all of our team consists of Sai units. hit as many perfects as possible, and easily clear stage 3 in one turn. Other than Komurasaki being placed in the left column, we also need Chopper to be placed there under Komurasaki in the bottom left spot, so he can evade the bind applied to our right column in stage 4. Activate Chopper to remove bind, despair and attack down, so essentially all of the debuffs in stage 4, and then we want to swap to Kizaru and activate versus Shanks to get a full board of matching slots, an ore boost and a base attack boost. Now we start attacking to break the barrier with our 4 crewmate units that are all Psi and have a Psi slot, and then we attack with Kizaru and Shanks, trying to hit as many perfects as possible to easily defeat Doflamingo. And because we activated versus Shanks, he will also reduce Mihawk's defense in the final stage to 0. Mihawk does not have defense down immunity, and he also has 10 turns of defense up, so reducing his defense is very important. After his preemptive, we want to super swap Kizaru to Fujitora to drop resistances, and then we want to activate his special to get a very good chain growth boost. Now we want to activate the versus ability of Shanks to get a conditional attack boost versus the defense down we inflicted Mihawk with, and after that we want to activate the 2 Mugiwara 56 free-to-play units. Combined they will remove both the 6 turns of damage reduction and 6 turns of threshold, and they will also provide us with an attack boost and an ore boost. Then we start attacking Mihawk, planning to end our attack with the final tap of Fujitora and Kizaru if even necessary for more damage. Here it wasn't, so we can just clear the arena. And that was a showcase of the new Dual Legend. What do you think of the unit? Tell me in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, definitely leave a like, I would really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.